Hello everyone, welcome to another garden tour for late April in my garden. Okay, so starting with the viburnum again, and the viburnums are looking fuller and better and more prominent now. As you can see, they're all over in the branches. Every branches are literally covered with the blooms. And these blooms are very, very attractive and beautiful. And this one is called Snowball, and it does look like Snowball, and it's still not yet in its full prime state. And once it is in a full prime state, I might post the video again. And here we go. This is my very good find that I found in dumping site, and I bought in for around £15, so which was a bargain. So I used this to put all the weeds, the vine weeds. Yes, I do have a vine weeds problems, and I just put them in here, and when I put it on, then I'll just burn them. Okay, so the view from where I'm looking at is absolutely amazing, especially in the morning, because the sunlight just hits the wall and it just brightens up everything, which you can see now. And the pots plants are doing well, and they don't need much sunlight, so I just leave them there. And the vinca minor is still going on. And over here I have my trees. Yes, my little mini trees, the trees that I collected, the seedlings that I find, while walking along in the path or in my garden itself. What I do is I plant them. Before I used to do them a lot, but before I was doing so many projects, I couldn't give much time to it. But nowadays, because I have time, I'm nowadays look after them well. And as you know, having plants is not everything. You need to look after it as well. And here you go, the view from the Hostas garden to the fountain garden. So the viburnum, well, I can't say much about it. I mean, you can see it's full of bloom, and it's not in its peak state. And when it's in a peak state, I will upload more videos, maybe around June, maybe around May time. So you will see what I'm talking about. Okay, all right, then this one's my little host palace, they would say. And over here is I think this one is called host mouse ear, and you can see it's so cute, and I'm trying my best to get the slugs out of it. I'm not using any slug pellets, I'm just using my own hands and collect them, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I know every gardener understands the damage that slugs do to your plants, and it's not nice. And this year I am one step ahead of it. Okay, this one here is my magnolia tree, which I have uprooted many times, so it's struggling, but hopefully this year it will get its place and slowly get the root and going and flourish. This one is a buddleia tree. Probably this will be the first plant that I ever planted in my gardening journey, and this one has got a big trunk. It used to be a tall and very vigorous one, but I chopped it down because I didn't know that buddleia do better when they are in this state than like a tree. So you can see the difference. It has got a big trunk, and it is probably 6.5 years old, and this would be my first plant. And over here I've got fern, and over there, I've got the pinaculata hydrangea. And over here, yes, this one has got a very nice orange stripe to it, and it's called Jurassic Gold, I think. This one is called, yes, Jurassic Gold. And over here I've got another hydrangea. It's called Sonestian. And this will be, I don't know how it looks like probably I'm expecting to look better during June and July time, and moreover in August. And you can see all over here I've got most of the evergreens, and they really do make a lot of difference. And I've got my little rhododendrons, and they are very nice. And over here bluebells, and yes, and this is how it looks like, green and purple. And this one is a hazelnut tree that is very, deep purple, and I like the look of it. I mean, the green and the purple just go so well together. And what I like about this purple hazelnut tree is that when the lights go through it, it just brights up like this. It's really nice to sit down and look up into the leaves, like this, when you are sitting on the stairs and just look up. It just looks beautiful, and it has got a different beauty and vibe when you do that. And that is what it's all about, plants, isn't it? That just make you feel, they just make you feel so good. And over here I have got, this is the fountain garden. I like to call it fountain garden. And over here I've got so many clematis, and I have got the creepers, Bergenia creepers, I think. And the clematis are trying to grab something. I used to have a trees here, and they used to really climb onto it, but this time it's struggling to find. But I don't want it to go up, because when they go up, they just flower upwards and you cannot see the bloom. But hopefully when they are on the ground, I can see the flowers. And I've got many perennials here, which I'm expecting to come this year, and hopefully they will, because they are very, very nice perennials. And hydrangeas, they look like they're in bloom, but actually it's the flower head from last year, and I haven't been able to get them or out of it. I mean, they just look fine. And this one here is Cyanthus, and this one has got a very, very vast amount of white blooms that is ready to burst out in very soon. And I hopefully in the next video I'm able to share this with you all. It is so beautiful. And over here I've got nasturtium, and I forgot to water them in the greenhouse, and I'm struggling to get them back to life. And moving on to the fishbone area, I planted so many different plants in here. I planted some marigold that I grew from seeds, and they seem to not being affected by the slugs at the time being. And this is Bergenia, and look at the blooms. It's so beautiful. It's the pink that I like. It has got the magenta pink, and even its leaves are very, it's soft to touch, and they're so crispy and nice. And I don't know, I mean, a lot of people don't like them, but I like them. And I've got a new stilby, pink, yes, and I have planted a pink one because I only have whites and maybe pink, but I don't know, I mean, they got lost, so I am starting again. And the sweet peas are still alive, and hopefully June and July they will be flowering mad. And I've got two kinds of clematis in there planted this year, so I'm expecting them to do well as well. And this one here is a kind of, I think it's a fruit, it's not fruiting cherry tree, it's just flowering cherry tree, and it's in a pot. And I got them on sale, so I couldn't control myself, and I just bought them in sale, and they're doing well, and I'm glad I bought them. And this one here is azalea, and the azaleas are absolutely thriving in this pot. And these two azaleas were from the clearance aisle, and I didn't expect them to do this good. And over here, this one is a clematis, not clematis, this one's is camellias. And I bought them, I think when I bought them, they were in Wilkinson. I bought them like, they were only like 15 centimeter long, and they are grown up and flowering now. And this one is a hydrangea again, and I have still left the bloom there because they have to stay there and look pretty until the blooms come and overshadow them. That's what I'm expecting. And this evergreen here, I love them because they seem to give me the feeling of having color during the winter month. And this one is I think is unanimous emerald and gold. And these two just they just marry together, and the bluebell in between kind of give that little sparkle moment as well. And you can see how beautiful it looks when I sit down and observe the colors, the green, the yellows, and everything. And this year I planted fuchsias in the ground, which I never do. And I planted this new rose, the climbing rose. It's called Gloriana, and it's beautiful pink. And I can't wait to, see the bloom. And what I'm planning to do is just climb them all over this canopies, so that when I'm sitting here I can see them and observe them, because that's what roses do. They give you a sense of smell, and they give you a sense of touch, and they give you a sense of everything, really. They just tick all the right things. And stilvies, yeah, they are, if you see my shorts video, they how they look. I have posted some pictures and videos, and they just look amazing when they bloom. And my another hosta patch, and this is where my mouse ear used to be, but I planted them there so I can see them, as they were engulfed by these big hostas. And these big hostas have such a lovely quilted pattern in their leaves, and they're so beautiful. And this year I've been working very, very hard on controlling slugs, so hopefully they will survive. And moving on, there is some water lilies, and I have, I've tried to, put more water lilies, because I think it's good for the wildlife as well, especially dragonflies, and yes, overall health of the garden. And yes, this one is peony, 3 peonies, and you can see it's really happy in here, really, really happy. And I think there is a saying called right plant at the right place, and this one was moved in 3 different places until it found this place. And it's really thanking me with blooms, and I love the blooms. The aroma it sends out, it's so beautiful and so nice. And I have here Spirea Gold Flame. When I bought them in like a 5 centimeter pot, and it was so small and tiny. And the reason I bought this one is especially for the pink bloom that it sends out when during the bloom time. And that is the reason why I bought this one, because the color of the foliage is nice, also the bloom is a plus. I like to have blooms and foliage at the same time. I think that is very important. If you are someone who like plants, get them. And I have got, yes, these ones are the impulse buys, and that's why I seem to struggle with keeping them well watered, and keeping them in good condition. And of course I have got here a Jalia, new one. I bought them recently. And over here, this tulip seems to be surviving the odds, and it's been blooming and standing tall for like many, many weeks. And I think this one is called Darwin varieties, and they are very strong varieties when it comes to tulips. That's what the research says. And yes, moving on to again the fishbone areas, this one here, this camellia, it has got some yellowing color in its leaves, and I thought it was a defect or it is lacking something, but it's not. And I leave it there, and it flowers, and you can see there's too much flower that they flower shrubs. And I never pick up this flower or sweep them away. I just leave it there because it looks beautiful to sit here and look at the blooms, even the ones on the floor. It just doesn't bother me. It just looks beautiful. And the thing about this camellia is it is so tightly packed. The blooms have so many petals. And the thing is, it's even it's yellow. The one is called stamen is also in a different place. It's not in the middle, which we expect a plant to have, but it has got the stamen in so many places tucked in, and that's why it's so unique. And more roses buds are coming up, so I have got so many roses in the garden. Maybe when they bloom I can show you in the video next time. And this one, the fruit trees are flowering this year. I hope I'm gonna be making more chutneys. Over here, I've got some Okay, I forgot the name. Oh, it's yeah, fuchsias. And again, moving on to the perennial borders, I have got here water lilies, and this day lilies were not supposed to come out because when I make this thing, I just didn't expect them to come, but they're doing well. This one here, I think it's the lilies that I lost and they seem to come out. I don't know what varieties is it or what it is, but when they bloom, then I will know it because I always save the labels if not. And yes, this cestus is called Corbanisis, I think, and this one blooms also amazingly. And I can't wait to share the video when everything blooms. And hopefully next month they will all be smiling and I'll be posting videos about them. And you would know why I'm talking about them because they just do well. And moving on to the green carpet area or the grassland, I would say. They've got the arbors and they've got all the honeysuckles, and I planted my annual plants that I sowed from seed and grew from seeds, and I planted them yesterday, and I can't wait to see them. And you can see the grass area is slowly catching up, and I did share it with you in the previous video before this one. I think that it was looking more kind of more kind of like a shady and struggling, but it is slowly getting there. And for me, a green grass carpet is a must because it's just the relaxing point that you need. And when you see it anywhere and then observe it, it just makes you feel nice. And the fact that when the sunlight hits the green grasses, it gives you that feeling. I mean, it just makes you happy, and for me it makes me happy. And over there I've got dianthus that I planted last year, and they were also on sale. Thank you. And yes, and I can't wait for them to bloom because they seem to love the heat and the sunshine. And this pluminarias, and I don't know, I mean, they're always happy in the shades, in sunlight. They seem to do well. And but the thing is, they just spreads too easily. And the rose aisle have got the blooms come. Some roses are doing well, but some are struggling. You can't have all the same really. And the tea room, and this one's tea room inspired by my visit to Somerset. And actually all my garden ideas are inspired by my holiday during summer, during the time in Somerset. And that's where I got the tea room idea. And in this tea room I want it to be surrounded with greens. And when I sit here and look outside the window, I call this arbor window, and I just want to see beauty. And this is a little touch of rockery garden. I don't have a big gardens where I can have all rockery gardens, so this is why I put rockery in between the gardens. And the steps I have tried to put a little bit of rockeries into it by putting rockery plants in there, and flower plants that looks good with rocks around them. So, and when I sit there and have my cup of tea, I can see them and enjoy them, and really, I mean, look at the beauty and smile about it. And I have got three kind of roses, two the same and one each. Compassion, Neptune, I think, and I've got, well, when they blooms I will give you the name as well, and then that will make sense. I think that makes a sense, I think. And yes, one happy news about the tea room is I think in previous video I mentioned about the first time I planted wisteria, and which I have given so much thought to it, and really I wasn't expecting it to do well because I was really worried it might have died, because I planted it during winter, really cold time, and guess what? It is now shooting out some leaves, and that means it's happy in that area. So imagine wisteria crawling and creeping all over this and then blooming its flower just like a drape. imagine. Anyway, moving on to the perennial border again. The woodrops are very happy, and one thing I would say, woodrop will cover your, it's a good ground cover, but they just cover everything. So be careful when you plant them. Don't expect it to be behaving, staying where it is. It will crawl all over. And I've got this perennial here starting to bloom, and I'm expecting it to stay like this, but I will have more of the bush and more of the green and the grasses in this area, and some roses dotted in between. So there are lots of things coming out in this area, and I'm excited to see them, and really I'm looking forward to them as well. And this one also, little tiny rose, and it's happy in this place because I planted them in different areas and wasn't doing well. And in this one, my mini Versailles, I planted some alliums and some perennials, and hopefully when they come up and when they really catch up, the vision is clear. And then yes, azaleas are doing well. This one here, I believe it belongs to the Heavy family. I'm not sure, but I lost the label, which is why I'm gonna find out in garden center and maybe share it next year. But as you can see, the blooms in it looks like it has got a snowfall, or it looks like snowing, and it is just very happy plant, I think. And when I bought it, I think it was like 5 centimeter pots, and look at it now. A tree like feature, but it's so beautiful. And in wintertime also, it gives me the idea of having a green in the garden. And I've got eryngium, and over here again another little touch of rockery in a pot. And and then it look nice even in winter time. And I plant this one here looks so beautiful as well when they're in prime, in their prime. And this one is another evergreen I invested this year. And yes, this one is Bramley apple. And I'm really, this year I'm really surprised because the apple trees are absolutely thriving and blooming, and I don't know what the fruiting will go, but I'm really looking forward to it. And this, as you can see, I've got 2 mini patches of green grass carpets, and I think I would want to have them always because it just makes the whole garden a garden for me, I think. And perennial border is more like a tree and shrub now, but I do have different plants in there. And this year I planted this one. It's a azalea, and it's called salmon something, but when it blooms, I'm expecting it to do well. And more tree peonies, but this one is slowly getting there. And bluebell in between the evergreen. Smoke bush tree, yes, and I just decided on getting a smoke bush tree after a long thought. And here we go. This one is heuchera, and this heuchera seems to give you a big impression when you walk in the garden because it's just so catchy and so purpley. It just look beautiful. I'm glad I bought them last year. And yes, again, another fruit tree is doing very well. I think it's the Gala variety, this one. And I actually made the branches go downward like this by putting weights on it. And you can see it's looked like it's a weeping bud tree, but it's not. And from here, I want to share something. Ed, can you see over there that water shadow from the pond? It's so beautiful, and that's what it does when it comes to the water, having water in the garden. The reflection, that shiny reflection is so catchy and nice to look at. And going on to the area that I don't do much because it just is what it is, really. I mean, Over here I have some perennials, and this one seemed to have such a beautiful water droplets all over its leaf. I don't have a name for it at the moment, but it is a good perennial, and I remember buying them in a very good price during clearance. And I've got here geraniums, the perennial ones, and yes, and this one here is Pyrus, and it's called Valley Valentine, I think. And it's looking gorgeous at the moment, and it has got that new leaf shooting out, and it's, you know, the difference between the new leaf and the old leaf is very, very, I mean, attractive looking. And okay, to my wildlife pond. I've got mint here, metha, which is water mint, and I have got some tadpoles. If I can get some for you to have a look at, they're so cute. When they swim, they look absolutely cute, and they're very, very, you know, cute. If I can get one, can you see them? Yeah, so there's so many tadpoles in this pond, and this was for me a biggest achievement as a gardener, because when I was building this pond, I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I was doing something right, and now I can see why. And yes, I planted some new water plants like the parrot tail, and some grasses, and some marigold, marsh marigold. And yes, I'm expecting them to look beautiful during June and July. And this is another touch of a little rockery in my garden, because like I said, I can't have all rockery garden. So where there is a place and where I can find an opportunity, I will use it as a little bit of rockery thing. And moving on to the bird feeding station, I had this plant which I brought from a supermarket. It was called the Primula, the berries yellow, and it was doing so well in my garden. I divided them and planted them in a different place. So I bought the another varieties, but these ones were on sale. So I just thought, you know, if it does good in your garden, just get them. So what I did, I bought two plants, and I made 4 out of them. So more plant really, and that's what good about perennials. If you buy established perennial, you can do that and save more money on plants really. And yes, the bird feeding station is looking a little bit fuller and a little bit greener. And I've got hydrangea, blue hydrangea there. So hopefully I'm expecting bloom, and it will look better. Yes, now I'm gonna feed my fish, because they were forever, you know, seeking my attention and looking at me while I was making videos. And yes, food time for me, for them, sorry. Every time is a food time. Every time they see me, it's a feeding time. And I hope you enjoyed watching this garden tour, and hopefully I can post some more videos in the future. And my aim is to do it most of the months, but hopefully I can do that. And thank you for watching my video, and hope you enjoyed it, and please support my videos if you can. And thank you very much. I will see you next time. Till then, happy gardening.